7 years ago or so, I moved to this location here in Whatcom County, Blaine, Washington. My wife and I were looking for some more property and that type of thing. So in December of 2007, I purchased a property here. And because, the outdoor, the wildlife, right after I retired from the federal government, I was spending more time here, and I wanted to just kind of enhance the wildlife. I had almost 4 acres. Primarily, most of it is just a field. And, mowing in it, that type of thing. And my wife and I enjoy watching birds and everything. And there's a lot of geese and ducks and, the blue heron that pass through the area. So I came up with the idea of building a pond on the property just to kind of, number one, really, it was to assist wildlife, but to turn basically just a empty field into a habitat for wildlife.
Joe Remenar is typical of most property owners. He takes pride in his property, and he uses his spare time to make improvements on it, both for his enjoyment and for the benefit of the environment. Joe puts substantial effort into creating the pond on his property as a wildlife enhancement project.
The past 2 springs, I've had nesting pairs of geese, nesting pairs of ducks. I've had the blue herrings come here all the time to eat the frogs, of course snakes, of course the birds love it, the deer come there sometimes, even the coyotes.
Both Joe and the wildlife were enjoying the newly created habitat. Nobody could have predicted what happened next.
So it was sometime, I would say the latter part of January, I received a letter from the county saying they initiated an enforcement action against me, saying that I had no authority to put a pond on wetlands. That was the first I ever heard of that. I never knew my property contained wetlands. And number 2, that they were going to fine me, and if the fine isn't paid, I was going to get assessments, and that I had no option other than to fill the pond.
Joe is justifiably proud of his accomplishment. He turned an empty field into a beautiful feature and a wildlife habitat. However, he made one crucial mistake. He did not get permission from the central planners at Whatcom County. And for this crime against bureaucracy, he was going to be punished.
Actually, I had Fish and Wildlife came out here and they looked at all. He actually said that no, it actually created a wildlife habitat which they like to see, and they had no problem with the pond. When this ball started rolling, and the county gave me no option other than to fill it. So number 1, I had to contact an attorney because, to see if I could keep the pond, so I have attorney fees. And then what we did, we actually submitted a mitigation plan, but instead of filling the pond, we submitted a mitigation plan keeping the pond. And then I also had, contacted a land use expert, again, who was advising me also. So between those 3 different individuals, I'm out of pocket right now over $5,000.
Joe is tangled up in a bureaucratic web of red tape. He has hired experts and attorneys, and he's even had a favorable opinion from the State Fish and Wildlife Department. He's spent over $5,000 in an effort to comply with the county's unreasonable and impossible rules. Whatcom County has been unbending, and they're bullying Joe into destroying the pond that he worked so hard to create. The county's been unwilling to find any common sense solution.
This is what's really frustrating, is all I created was wildlife habitat, but yet the county is telling me to destroy wildlife habitat in order to save, the environment. It just doesn't make sense.